day to you. Welcome to Dawn on VOX TV. My name is Omori Proud. I'm with the delectable Benahi Onafe. Hey, darling.
Hi, good morning, Pearl.
Morning, darling. And like I said, we have hot, pressing national issues. Your hot topics to be discussed on the table today. But before I go to the topic of the day, let's meet my guest or our guest. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Pearl.
Good morning, sir. How you
Good
doing?
morning.
Okay, sir, can the audience meet you your name?
Yeah, my name is Marvis Siyamo.
Okay.
I'm a youth activist, as you know.
Wow, youth activist. Yes, with the current situation of the country, I think we need a lot of youth activists.
Exactly.
Okay, now to the topic of today, sir, we'll be discussing protest as a national response. A lot of bodies and youth activists, if you're not out there, the government make a lot of, I won't use the word unreasonable, but I'll say some decisions that tend to affect Nigerians mostly negatively. And protest is always first or last resort to buttress their opinion. Why is that?
Yeah. I think I have to first of all observe some level of decorum.
Okay.
But we have to discuss national issues and we need to properly get it.
Yeah.
But as we all know, in a situation like this, when the issue of national subject is being discussed,
yes,
it affects the lives of the people. It's expected that the only response to it is to go out on our page to, express that satisfaction, against any development that is being raised by the government. But in this very case, you cannot see protest to be abstractly, abnormal, because protest is the expression of one's displeasure or a rejection to any policy, any rules, any ideas by government. So protest is just the way to express that, we are not comfortable with this thing, and it's not it shouldn't be declared illegal or abnormal by. But I think the procedure for it to do and the processes for embarking on such thing matters. So what you do first, you don't just wake up in the morning and say you want to protest. There are procedures, there are stages you have to go, there are the constitutions you have to exhaust first before you just we are ready to go out there to tell them we don't want this. So it's like when the people are filled with some deep resentment. So what the outcome of it is protest. So I think the only way to tell the government, because they are there, they don't get directly what we go through. They don't feel it. So the only way that they will hear that these people are not comfortable, regardless of the angle, the community, regardless of the circle, the group that is embarking on such protest. But I can assure you one thing, that the government gets the update of people's, going out to express their discomforts about any unhealthy policies made by the government. So it's a way out.
Okay, it's a way out. Now coming to that, let's use this latest issue of the hiking fuel price. Okay, so everything in Nigeria goes up, and I hear you agree with me.
Exactly.
I think since I was born to this age, I've not seen anything in Nigeria that says, we want to reduce this price, we want to do this. Why? So I think what's really the effect of this protest when the things keep getting worse?
Yeah, but you are in Nigeria. You are part of the system. You are here.
Exactly.
So if it's still very fresh in our memory, the outcome of the NSAS protest.
Yes, exactly.
So,
okay.
If our leaders they are very, very conscious and sensitive to the plight of the people, I don't think they will want to again allow such ugly development to repeat itself
ugly stuff to happen.
Because the only way the common people like us, the people on the street can express their discomfort with government.
It's to protest.
That's why before you embark on that protest, there are some things you have to exhaust first. You first consult relevant stakeholders, relevant groups, student bodies, youth bodies. Then you consolidate.
With all of these procedures, I hope it will be cancelled.
No, yeah, but what you are trying to use to consolidate is to carry all the parties along. All relevant stakeholders involved along.
You got to legal backing.
Yes, now get the market women involved, get the Christian bodies involved, get all relevant, like I said, all relevant stakeholders to be involved. That okay, let's come together. It's not a personal thing.
Yeah.
About protest is not personal. It's not a. It's not like I'm personally uncomfortable with this thing. Let me go on. You can't chop in personally. It's really a concerted effort. Everybody must be carried along to ensure that your voice is heard, your lamentation is taken into consideration. So protest is never out of point. Protest, but like I said, you must first consider those things first. You consult, you consolidate. Then you now, before you confront. But don't just wake up and say you want to protest. Of course, the result is not. This is a political time and a political system. So of course, they can easily be tapped to be sponsored or be used by these political bigwigs.
Exactly.
So
Well, let me come here. You said protest is not out of point. Let's go back to memory lane. The NSAS protest. A lot of persons came out to express their anger, express
their
their
lives.
exactly. So and in days later, in fact, several days later, Lagos State government came out to say that the act of protest is hereby banned. You get? So if you say it's not out of point, why should specific bodies or specific governments like the state government coming out to say that, okay, oh, this act is banned, I don't want to see any sort of gathering in this regard? What do you have to say about that if it's not out of point?
Power intoxicates, and the person who is in that position of authority, his level of reasonability, his mental stability matters a lot.
Exactly.
So at times when some leader speaks, you go back to see how far you can do a review on their antecedents, where they are coming from, their achievement, their role. For anybody, any political officer whose tenure in office is just whose days in office is tenured, to come out to say we ban a particular day. It's like anybody comes to say we suspend the position. Why are people against military takeover, military,
Intervention.
Why? Because they will just come here and say they put an end to this
Dictatorship.
suspension. So you are saying that you are banning protest. Even trying to see how far you can expunge the section in the constitution that says that guarantees our freedom of speech. So what is protest? You go out there to express your mind, to speak, about your feelings, how you're not okay with the old development. So that's protest. So by saying you ban it, you are invariably saying that this very section that empowers people to go out to speak, that says that guarantees your freedom of speech, you are also trying to ban it. It's not possible. How do you expect commoners to express their discomfort to them? If you say, because a protest, because some persons organize protests, some group for the protest, they are being sponsored by some persons, and in the course of the protest, so many things played out, destruction of properties, government, then you can begin to raise issues of, okay, it was a violent one. But you can't even determine that it's done.
Until it's done.
So, but no, protest is never. Well, yeah. You should be very, very. You should be very, enlightened to the level where you are aware of some mass movements that have happened or taking place in other African countries. South Africa today would have still been under minority rule.
Yes.
The Western, yes. But what the people took their destinies in their hands. They came out to not protest. People died because of the protest. It's allowed. It's not my struggle. So it's not anybody can just wake up and say we ban protest. Even the government, our leaders that just wake up in the morning and say, in fact, this issue of subsidy you're talking about.
Exactly.
It was announced November last year.
Yes.
That by as early this year they will remove. So they be preparing for it. They will be preparing for the outcome of, okay, let's see what they will do.
Yeah.
So they're not unaware.
What they will do first.
They're not unaware. They're not, of course, they're not actually going. They're not actually telling anybody. They just come out of the street and say, no, we don't want this thing. We have been involved in protest at the level of student movement. The student movement now specifically is not for protest. That's the level they convey their displeasure to the appropriate quarter. So it's never out of place, maybe.
Okay, sir. Still talking about this protest. Yes, it seems to be the last resort, or perhaps the best resort to actually portray our point to the government. But won't you think this process is a bit slow? Thinking of the Asuu strike. This Asuu strike, I think I grew up to meet them. The incessant strike. It's always on. Either the Asuu or the labor gives us strike. And now hike and fuel. Most of these things, I think, even most Nigerians who are going in, that the process is very slow. And the effect is, the damage, the effect is very, very high. The standard of living in Nigeria is very, very poor. So, which other miss do you think the government at least can still hear the cry of the masses? At least listen to their plight.
So if you ask directly, I'll just tell you that the only available means to end this whole drama is for us to be conscious and get prepared for the 2023 election.
2023 election. Everybody is hoping for the 2023 election. Yeah. But don't you think the candidates too, they are more recycling? Either a past governor or a 7th senator, everybody wants to come back. Now, the choice of candidate also comes in play.
Yeah, but I can assure you one thing. If, for instance, at this very level, Nigerians, we are all out to register for get our PVC, and sensitize others together, and people are actually doing that. And 2023 comes, the different dimension is taken. There are people's voting, deciding through ballots. I mean, if you ask me, the best form of revolution is through democratic process, through ballots, where they will vote and say, okay, now we don't, in fact, we don't want you.
Not in Nigeria.
I'm coming, it's possible. It's possible. We'll get there.
Okay.
Oh.
What I'm saying, you can't tell me that the way it was done some years back, the last previous elections, it wasn't so. This just last government president in the states.
Exactly.
Those
Yes,
familiar
it's
with
a slight change.
So it will not be so in 2023. 2023, we shouldn't expect that 2023, oh, everything will be settled, we'll be happy, we'll gone, will not be at liberty to live a better life. No. But 2023 to me, to some of us, will just be a little more stress.
Okay.
The outcome of it to serve as a deterrent to those leaders who think, oh, they can continue to practice that thing the old ways they've been doing it, and they can continue like that peacefully without being hindered or attacked by the younger structure or forces. But I can assure you, with that very prescription, we'll get it right. But you see, when you talk about this whole issue of Asuu, strike,
Yes.
protest, for me, with all due respect to the leadership of Asuu, I don't take them for anything meaningful.
Yes, when it's insistent, people tend not to see they lose the value or interest.
The minister, the labor minister, Chris Egede, he is such a relaxed man that if there is something good, nothing negative will come out of these people. They meet all regularly. They've been meeting. There's no way they don't discuss issue of Asuu. But the question is, the leadership of Asuu, are they doing the right thing by way of first considering or putting into consideration the things that need to be considered before actually embarking on those protests? No, they don't consult. They don't align with relevant forces to do this thing.
They just strike.
You can't be talking about strike or embarking on any strike. Of course, you must have had some meetings before then. But you can't be talking about finally concluding or making a declaration that you are now on strike without bringing in NANS. NANS is the umbrella body of student movement in Nigeria.
Exactly.
They have to be carried along. There are other labor forces that need to be carried along. Asuu is just doing it because Asuu will do theirs. NSA will come with their threats, or they'll become different threats. You know, when government is used to a particular system of doing things, way of doing things, they don't take you for granted.
They don't take it
They
seriously.
are just normal noise makers. They will let them make noise back and they will be settled after all.
Okay.
So I think it's a very unhealthy development for us.
Okay, let me just come here. I'm not playing the devil's advocate or anything, but if you're a part of Asuu, would you not feel their plight? Because you are saying the government will not take them do not take them seriously and what have you. But they did not just come about to say they are going to strike. There were several dialogues. In fact, it was not last year or last 2 years where they had different meetings with the government, and the government did not really meet all their demands and everything.
It's always unattended demands.
It's all on unattended demand. Would you like a friend that is a lecturer or a senior staff in the university go unpaid for several months? Don't you think their demands is it's understandable to an extent? Because right now we're saying the students are blaming Asuu, students are blaming the government, Asuu is blaming the government is blaming Asuu. So who are we to blame right now? Because if the government really listen to them, because this fight has been since 2009. Again, so if the government really listens to them, are we really going to still have this?
Benahi, the students are at the receiving end. It's
That's
like
what
two
I'm
elephants
saying.
fighting
So
at the grass
I'm
surface.
asking this question: who is to blame? Because right now the students, especially final year students,
If you ask who is to blame, like bringing in this federal government and the Asuu people,
And the students in the middle.
Well, what I'm not against Asuu expressing their discomfort over how they've been dealt with or they've been
On certain issues.
issues have been settled, yes. So I'm not very comfortable with it. It shows a very high, a very high level of irresponsibility on the part of the government.
The decadency of the system.
Because in the first place, there cannot be a university without students.
Exactly.
So what is the essence? What is the essence of having an institution of allocating a particular fund to education without
Seeing the result.
seeing the results, without being conscious of the fact that these people doing this work, they should be paid. So my only concern about the leadership of Asuu is that I feel they've not been able to send any signal that will put the government on where they should be.
Something strong.
Something strong should be done to strike the government. The issue of SARS and SARS was not, well, to me, it was not sponsored by anybody, but that was by any political party. I personally, I was not sponsored by, some of us were involved in
Because
that.
it's special about
It
all
was,
Nigerians.
people came, was it, well, let me tell you, when people are set to revolt, they will revolt without thinking, considering the result and the application of it. So in this case, Asuu knows very well that they are fighting a cause, that's the generational cause, the older ones. So they should do the needful to carry the leadership of that very first, along in the course of this whole thing. They will meet today, they will meet next week. There's no year, there's no quarter in a particular year. They don't discuss issue of Asuu.
Like,
you get my point?
yes,
so they want the force. The national student then when during when the BB was military head of the state, they were involved in protest.
Wow.
There's no normal human being, regardless of the position you occupy, will just declare and say shoot all these people, kill them. But whatever you are doing, when you are fighting any cause, fight it vigorously and with all sense of responsibility. So that those you are fighting, that okay, you are fighting a very just cause. Not acting vibrantly, during the day, and at night you become a very cold dog. So don't play. The people, the leadership of this country play politics. All the associations that operate, at different level, they play their. They know how to play their games. They set aside whatever it's required to quench down any tension or to die down any pressure from any angle. So if the Asuu as a very formidable group, if the Professor Yai of blessed memory, if he was alive by now, I think this thing would have they would have since resolved the issue of because that man is an organic, was an organic comrade who understands the struggle very well and knows how to galvanize the needed resources and forces to champion a particular cause. But this very one, we are scared. We are not very comfortable with the way they are handling it because strike today, give 4 weeks money. Strike tomorrow, give 3 weeks money. Strike next tomorrow. People are getting hold down on daily basis. Our students and younger ones who went to school at the age of 18, 17, 19. They are living
Some want to get married.
Some are even getting married while they are in school.
As in, right now, a lot of persons have lost interest in just
our government
in this
should be
school
our government should be
system.
up and doing. They should wake up to the responsibility. They are there for the government. If I'm a president today and in my time at the end of my tenure and I discover that the level of protest, was on kind of reasonable, I have no option than to ensure that those things don't repeat itself again. But the set of that's what to do because of those very issue of teacher cabinet and cabal, the president don't get the right message.
Right now, we have to just wrap things up. But you talked about a strong signal Asuu should do to make the government really buy into their plight and everything. What do you think Asuu should do that they've not been doing?
Okay, I think they know what to do.
They know what to do.
It's a very important. Asuu, the Asuu is not a child's
It's
not a child's organization. They know what they are doing. It's headed by professors and the highly intelligent men.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you so much. Guys, you guys still joining on the conversation. We're still talking about fuel scarcity right now happening in Nigeria and the ongoing Asuu strike. Just leave a message in our comment section. Join in, say what you have to say, express your plight and everything. We are still viewers, TV Nigeria, and you can follow us across our social media platforms on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you so much for watching. I'm still Bena here on Ofe.
And I'm proud of Murray. Thank you for watching.
Until we come your way again, bye for now.